So hello everyone and welcome to Starry Skies, your monthly guide to the night sky from here in Dorset. I'm Mark Hardacre.
And I'm Steve Tonkin. And wherever you're listening from in Dorset and Hampshire, whether it's Fordingbridge, Ringwood, Verwood, New Forest, just welcome and thanks for coming along and joining us.
Great. And August, Steve, is one of those highlights of the astronomical year, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Warm evenings, comfortable observing temperatures, darkness again. And this year it's going to be very special indeed.
Oh, yeah, because we've actually got 2 eclipses in August, so that's a bit special.
It is.
And we've also got a meteor shower, a pretty good one as well, and with the moon absolutely perfect for it. So we've got solar eclipse. It's partial, but it's 95% covered, the sun, and that's on the 12th of August. So it's sort of 27 years and a day since the last eclipse we had here, last big one.
Yep.
Then we've got the Perseid meteor shower that night, which of course, because it's an eclipse of the sun, that means it's new moon, so the moon won't be in the sky to annoy us. And then just a bit later, 2 weeks later, in fact, half a month, we've got a partial eclipse of the moon. So that's on the 28th of August.
Yeah, it's unusual enough to have one eclipse in a month.
Yeah.
But 2 eclipses, one of the sun and one of the moon, makes it a memorable month for us astronomers, definitely.
Indeed, and we are going to make the most of it.
We are indeed.
Yeah, Fordingbridge Astronomers will be gathering on Fordingbridge Recreation Ground from about 3 o'clock in the afternoon of the 12th. We're going to have lots of telescopes specifically filtered for looking at the sun, and experienced members around to help everybody observe the solar eclipse safely. And that's really important, the safely bit.
Yeah, it is. And, if you ever watched The Sky at Night with Patrick Moore all those years ago, Patrick used to always say, please do not try looking at the sun without proper equipment. We'll explain later on in the programme, but if you'd like to enjoy this fantastic event, please come along and see us. We'll be on the recreation ground at Fordingbridge as darkness falls, also ready for the Perseid meteor shower. So today we're going to take a look, first of all, as we usually do, at the planets, discover what's happening overhead, explain how to observe the eclipse safely, and then finish off by preparing you for the lunar eclipse. So that'll be great.
Yeah, and of course preparing you for this wonderful, free, spectacular light show.
Indeed. So let's start off astronomically speaking, because August, it really feels like the beginning of autumn, doesn't it? Nights are coming noticeably darker and longer.
And cooler.
That is also a good thing. It's good for telescope tubes, because you leave a telescope out in the day, it gets hot, and you get air currents inside it. So it's good to have a cool telescope.
Yeah, so if you're ever looking through your telescope and it looks like you're looking through running water, that's air currents.
It definitely is.
Just leave it for an hour to cool down.
But by 10 o'clock, the sky is properly dark again. And by midnight, we probably, mid-August, get about 4 to 5 hours of genuine darkness.
Yeah,
which not too bad.
That's good. And I mean, the other thing about this time of the year is that you've got the Milky Way and its arches high across the sky. And if you've got a good southern horizon, like the south coast, just have a look at where it sort of goes down towards the sea, because that's actually where it's brightest.
Yeah,
it's a really beautiful time to be outside.
It is, and my favourite is Barton-on-Sea. If you're down that way, looking out to sea, as we've said so many times before, the nearest light in that direction is Cherbourg in France. So that's a great place to see. Anywhere on the south coast, looking out south is great. It's a lovely time to be outside.
Yeah.
So, what about the moon this month? Well, of course, it's rather cooperative for this month. It gives us 2 eclipses, one at its new moon. So the new moon is obviously on the 12th of August, and the full moon is, again, obviously on the day of the partial lunar eclipse on the 28th of August. And in between, it's going to do all its phases as usual. So crescent, half, gibbous, and then back to full again.
Yeah. So if we look at the planets then, I mean, the obvious one is Venus. You'll see it in the western sky after sunset. You really can't miss it. It's incredibly bright.
Yep.
It's low in the sky, but that doesn't matter. If you have a telescope, try looking at it, and look at it while the sky is still quite bright, actually. And you'll see it much more easily. You'll see its crescent phase. You'll see it changing. It's actually coming closer and closer to the Earth, and gradually that crescent gets bigger and thinner.
Yeah, and you need to be looking at it in twilight.
Yeah.
Make sure the sun's gone down, we always say. We don't want sun catching you in your eye by any chance. But Venus is so much better when it's not so brilliant in the sky. When it's so bright, it will blind you. But it's more difficult to see the crescent phase.
Yeah,
So
it's glare.
the glare is the word, correct, Steve. That's it, yeah. Next planets out, Mars and Jupiter. Well, still rather close to the sun. If you're an early bird, you might just see Mars rather faint in the morning sky before dawn, look low on the southern horizon, and you'll see it's an unmistakable orangey, yellow, reddish colour. But lots more to say about Mars when it gets closer to us in the new year.
Ditto for the king of planets, which is Jupiter, which is a bit too close to the sun now for comfortable viewing, but by the end of August, it'll be back in the morning sky before dawn.
So those planets, more to say on those later. But right now, let's call it the queen of planets, shall we? Saturn is getting better and better. It rises now in the mid-evening, sort of 10 o'clock, 10:30 by mid-August. And by late evening, it's climbing high enough in the sky in the east for really good viewing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with a decent telescope, you can easily see the rings. Not with binoculars easily, but
no, you need to be magnifying to see them easily. I mean, I've seen them about 15 times, but that was an incredibly good night. But if you're magnifying 30 times or more, you should be able to see the rings.
Yeah.
But binoculars will show its largest moon, Titan.
That's it. And that is one of the biggest moons in the solar system.
Indeed.
And it's easily visible.
Yes, it has an atmosphere, does Titan?
Yeah, true. So let's get on to the main event.
Yes.
So we're talking about the partial solar eclipse first, right? The solar eclipse, though that's the one where the moon passes in front of the sun, blocking out part of its light. And that will be the biggest, deepest partial event visible from the UK until 2081, by which time most of us won't be around. So
no,
make
I
sure you
won't.
get to... So what time is this going to be then?
It starts actually quite late afternoon.
Right.
From memory, about 5:15.
6.
6:15. Oh, that's right. It's 6:15. That's 5:15 Universal Time, UT.
That's it.
That's one. And about an hour later, it becomes maximum, and about an hour, just less than an hour after that, it finishes, by which time it'll actually be pretty low. It'll be about 2 or 3 finger widths above the horizon. So, yeah.
So this won't be a total eclipse, will it, Steve? It's going to be a partial eclipse, but it's a big one. What does that mean?
Well, that means that most of the sun is going to be covered by the moon. So it'll be, if you really want to head out into the North Atlantic, you can get it total, but we'll have most of the sun covered by the moon, and you'll notice that any shadows it casts, so if you're in a woodland or something like that, where it's dappled, the shadows, instead of becoming little circles, as they normally are, they become little crescents, which is rather beautiful.
And the other thing you can do is to use a colander, right? This has been in all the press recently. Get a colander, the things for draining your peas. Take it outside and just hold it above a white piece of paper. Yeah. And where the little holes in the colander project an image of the sun onto the paper, that sun will become sharply crescent-shaped. Very unusual. Take a picture of that. Yeah. Much better than trying to look at the sun.
You'll also find that the light becomes a bit eerie, I find it.
Yeah,
it's definitely something going on there.
Yeah, it's very hard to describe because it feels like you think, oh, what's going on here? You're expecting the Twilight Zone, the music to come on. It's everything seems flat, doesn't it?
Yes.
Flat
and you might find that things that normally happen at dusk start happening in a deep eclipse.
Although this will be very shortly before sunset. Yeah. So I think the quality, we said here, the quality of the light becomes almost metallic. That's a funny description, isn't it? But
yes, and I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And I think once you've seen it, you'll know what Mark means by metallic.
Yeah. Anyway, it'd be very interesting to hear from listeners as to what their experience of that fading light is as the sun becomes eclipsed.
Yeah. And tell us how you describe it.
Yeah. So, but as the most important thing is, although it's 95% eclipse, that means there's 5% of that hot 6,000 degrees sun still poking out there. And if you think, oh, that'd be okay, I'll turn my binoculars on it, you will badly damage your eyes, leading potentially to blindness. So don't do it.
Never use an optical instrument for looking at the sun unless it's specifically designed for the purpose. Things like ordinary sunglasses, useless. Smoke glass, useless. Using a CD or something like that, useless. So layering sunglasses, having multiple pairs of sunglasses, useless.
Yeah.
The only safe method, we'll keep hammering this, and I'm sorry if we're going on about it, is properly filtered telescopes or binoculars.
Yeah.
Nothing else. Or eclipse shades. And again, you need to make sure that they have the CE certification inside them.
That's it. And that's why we'd love you to come and join us. Members of Fordingbridge Astronomers. So we're a big-sized club in this area. We'll be meeting at the Fordingbridge Recreation Ground from mid-afternoon. We will have set up there safe solar telescopes. We have a supply of eclipse glasses for people to take, and they are CE certified, so you can take them for free and use them, look at the sun. And even if you've never used a telescope before, and you've just got a passing interest in astronomy, come along. Everybody is welcome.
Yeah. And just say one thing about eclipse glasses. You must check them every time you use them. Hold them up to a bright light and make sure they're not scratched or got pinholes or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just standard practice, eclipse shades. Please check them. You've only got one pair of eyes. Look after them.
Absolutely right. And when you come along, we're there to answer questions, to explain what's happening, even to help you take photographs if you have that equipment. And best of all, it's free of charge. We're not going to charge anything. We might have some food and drink later on. We're not sure about that yet, but we'll certainly have tons of enthusiasm available, all at no cost. Huh?
Yeah, indeed. And then after the eclipse, after sunset that evening, just after a few hours, we're going to be watching one of nature's light shows. We'll be watching little bits of dust from a comet tail light up the skies. They ionize as they ablate. They get so hot from pushing air in front of them. You know, when you compress air, it gets hot. Used to do this as a kid with bicycle pump. You can still try it. Put your thumb over the end and sit and see how hot you can make your thumb feel by pumping down on it.
Yep.
And that's effectively what these grains of dust do. They're coming in, so thousands or tens of thousands of miles an hour, and that makes them air heat up, and you get this ionization trail, which we see as a shooting star.
And these are the Perseid meteors, probably the most famous meteor shower of all. It's not necessarily the best.
No, but the best one, in my opinion, takes place a few months later in December, when it's cold, so most people don't go out and look at it.
Yeah. The beauty of the 12th of August is you can get your deck chair out, you can sit outside often in your shorts and T-shirt and watch the phenomenon happen in the sky. It's terrific.
So every August the Earth passes through a debris trail left by a comet called Swift-Tuttle, because it was discovered independently by two people, Lewis Swift and Horace Tuttle, a few days apart. And these particles just sort of light up as they come through the atmosphere. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, and each grain, could you imagine those grains are travelling at 60 kilometres a second, 130 miles an hour.
Yeah, pretty quick.
And when they hit the top of the atmosphere, they don't last very long, maybe half a second, and they flash across the sky, and they all appear to come from the constellation of Perseus. So that's why they're called the Perseids.
Yeah, but that is not where you want to look.
Yeah, right.
Because if you look at them, if you look in that direction, the ones you see will be coming straight towards you. So, you might get little flashes of light or very short trails.
So where would we watch then? What's the best place to how would you look at them?
I would sort of lie back on a recliner and I would look near the zenith, the part of the sky above you, because that's where the sky is usually darkest. So therefore, that's where you'll see the faintest meteors. But look at least a handspan or more away from the constellation of Perseus.
Do I need a telescope at all?
No, in fact, you definitely don't want a telescope or binoculars or anything else. This is best done with the unaided eye And if you want to, take a little star chart or something with you, if you've got such a thing, print one out and mark where they go through the sky. You can. It's really, really easy. Yeah. It's one of the things that you need nothing apart from one eye to be able to observe.
That's it. Find somewhere dark. If you're not going to come to the Fordingbridge Rec Ground, then find somewhere dark. Get a reclining chair. An old deck chair is perfect, I think. Don't forget as well to wrap up warm, because you're not moving, and it's going to get quite chilly by midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and you'll suddenly go, "Oh, I wish I put a coat on."
Yeah, all else being equal, meteor showers are best between midnight and dawn.
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
Yeah, and it is never warm if you're not doing anything. So yeah, really.
So wrap up warm, even if you don't need it. Wrap up warm.
And the other thing is, the papers will tell you, 150 an hour. That is actually a bit of overhype. It's 150 an hour if you've got a perfect sky, an observer with perfect vision who can see the entire sky at once, and the meteors are all coming from the zenith, the point over your head, which none of that is ever true.
Yeah.
And so, if you see one every few minutes, that's what's to be expected.
Yeah, and sometimes it really is that for 10 minutes will go by and you won't see any.
Yeah, and then they come along like buses.
Like buses. Yeah, so that's pretty normal. But the thing about the Perseids is they tend to be fairly bright, fast-moving meteors, very distinctive, and it'll be fun. So, as I said, our plan's pretty simple. We're going to stay at the rec ground after the eclipse, and as darkness falls, we'll switch from the solar telescopes to nighttime telescopes, so we can use them as well to point out, find Saturn in the sky. We'll point out the constellations, maybe some star clusters, and then we'll sit back all together, those that are still awake, and enjoy some Perseids.
And those that fall asleep, if someone snoring is disturbing you, please feel free to give them a nudge.
And it's also, this is a great example of astronomy being a community event. Yeah. It's great. Families, children, experienced observers, complete beginners, everybody can come, right?
Yep, indeed. And your 4-year-old child will be just as capable of seeing one of these meteors as someone like Mark or I have been doing this stuff for decades.
But that's not it.
No.
The excitement doesn't end on the 12th of August.
Nope.
Just over a fortnight later comes our second eclipse of the month.
Yes.
Now, what's this one?
Well, it's on the 28th. I think, well, hang on. It's a month. That should surely be 15 days later. Well, it's actually 15 and a bit days later, because this one happens in the morning of the 28th of August, which is a Friday.
Yep.
And you'll need to get up before dawn, really. And what we see is this deep partial eclipse of the moon. And unlike a solar eclipse, this one's perfectly safe to watch with your unaided eye, binoculars, telescope, anything you've got. In fact, the more you can magnify it, the more fascinating it becomes. So that's really good. And what happens is you'll notice it starts going red.
Yeah.
And the deepness of the red gives you an indication of the cleanliness or otherwise of Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah.
So if we've got all these wildfires that are going on or have been going on in July, if they're still going on, then you're going to get a fairly dark eclipse.
Yeah. So what's happening in this case, of course, is that the moon is passing into the Earth's shadow. So the alignment this time is Sun, Earth, Moon. The shadow of the Earth is cast upon the moon, and that's why everybody on the planet can see it.
Yep.
If you can see the moon, you'll be able to see it being eclipsed. The timing, though, I have to say, not the best. Not the best. The eclipse begins with the first touch of the shadow on the moon around 3:30 a.m. when all non-astronomers and sensible people are tucked up in bed and having a nice kip.
Yeah, but it's one of these events that's worth looking at, and also you could see lots of other things. Well, you might notice the edge of the dark bit is actually blue, and that's an indication of Earth's ozone layer. You know, so it's you can tell a lot from it. It's also, you'll notice that the edge of the eclipse, where it's projected onto the moon, is always part of an arc of a circle.
Yeah.
And the only shape that can ever, whatever its orientation, could always cast a circular shadow is a sphere. And this was something that the ancient Greeks used to be able to tell the Earth was spherical. If the Earth was flat, like some people would have you, at some stage you get a lunar eclipse that was actually a line across the moon. On planet reality, that never happens.
And we're just smiling at each other here because, there are still flat earthers around, and maybe some listening. It's not true.
No.
End of. Yeah. Anyway, so you'll from 3:30 onwards, you'll see the moon will slowly move into the Earth's shadow.
Yeah,
and you'll see the bright surface area gradually disappears into darkness. And unfortunately, from Dorset, the moon will be getting lower and lower in the sky, and it will the total part, or the almost total part, will come just before sunrise or moon set.
Yeah.
But still, it's well worth it. It's well worth also watching the sun rising in the east. Well worth setting your alarm if the forecast looks promising, right?
Yeah. If you're going to get up beforehand, there's other things you can look at. We've got, for example, the summer triangle, these three bright stars which are overhead from about midnight-ish. That's Deneb, Vega and Altair. We'll put them on the chart on the Forest FM fan page. You've got the Milky Way, which we mentioned before. And if you've got binoculars, have a look. Again, we'll put it on the chart, at the Great Globular Cluster in Hercules, which it looks like an out-of-focus star in binoculars, but in a small telescope, it just bursts into, there's a few 100,000 stars there in a tight wall. It's absolutely lovely.
Terrific. And, August has been and will continue to be, for me personally, a great month for observing. It's lovely and warm. The sky's great above, lots to see. And this month is particular, as I said before, is remarkable. 2 eclipses and the meteor shower. So it's going to be fun.
And there's a few other things we can show you as well if you come along to these things. So we've got a wonderful double star. That's just a pair of stars that are close to each other. And this one is sapphire and gold. And it's in the head of Cygnus the Swan, a star called Alboreo. Yeah. We've also, not far from that, you've actually got a coat hanger in the sky, which is visible in binoculars. We can show you how to find that as well. So something to hang your coat on while you're observing.
And do, by all means, bring your own gear along. We can show you how to set it up if you've had any issues in the past. We can point it at the objects that you were talking about here and others. And, generally, we're going to have some fun with this, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole point of it. I don't think either of us would have been doing this for so long if had it not been thoroughly enjoyable.
Exactly. So, if you can only manage the one observing session this whole summer, then make it Wednesday, the 12th of August.
Yeah.
Join us again at Fordingbridge Recreation Ground. I think there's parking there, Steve. Are we okay?
There's parking. There's parking across the road. There's an NFDC car park which is free from 6 o'clock.
Right. So we start at 3 p.m, so you might have to pay for a couple of hours, but come bring a picnic, enjoy it, and enjoy the fun. And then if you feel more energetic a few weeks later, set your alarm clock for the 28th to catch that deep partial eclipse.
Yeah.
So anyway, great stuff. The planets and the constellations we've mentioned today can all be found on our monthly sky chart, although the eclipses won't be on there, of course. But the sky chart is available on the Forest FM fan page. We put it on there, as well as online through Fordingbridge Astronomers, Wessex Astronomical Society. The chart shows our night sky as it appears around the 10 p.m. mark, 10:30 p.m. During the middle of August. Yeah. So, if you'd like to learn more about astronomy, why not contact your local astronomy club?
Well, it's Fordingbridge Astronomers meet on the third Wednesday of each month, and that's at the Elm Tree in Hightown in Ringwood.
And this month actually will be a social evening. We're not having a speaker, so our meeting in the third Wednesday of August will be a social. So that's a get to know you. Come along.
Yeah. But if you've got kit you don't know how it works, or you want help working it, or want to see other people's kit, we'll have some stuff on display, and you can bring stuff along and we'll show you how to get it up and running.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Fordingbridge Astronomers. Then we have Wessex Astronomical Society, a local club around here.
A newer club, but one that's thriving, is the Cranbourne Chase Astronomy Club, which meets in the Grosvenor Hotel in Shaftesbury on the second Wednesday of the month. And all of these clubs really warmly welcome new members. And as we keep emphasising, you don't need expensive equipment. Just one decent eye helps, and a curiosity. The curiosity is the most important thing. So, we look forward to welcoming you again to next month for another edition of Starry Skies.
So, until then, it's goodbye from me, Mark Hardacre.
And from me, Steve Tonkin. And as usual, we wish you
clear skies.